Well, coming up next on Getting Up to Speed, he is a decorated micro sprint driver as well as a midget driver, including winning the championship last year with the USAC Western State Series. He was 9th in points with the Sprint Car Challenge Tour, where he was behind the wheel of the famed Friends and Family X1 Sprint Car. It's Michael Faccinto out of Hanford, California. Next. Hello. I'm Ben Dethridge, and I'm the host of Getting Up to Speed. We talk to sprint car drivers from the Pacific Coast, whether they race in Oregon, Washington, California. If they run it, we're going to talk about it. Also branch out a little bit, as well as drivers that perhaps are from here that race elsewhere, or some drivers that come in and try and take some money from the West Coast. In these episodes, we talk about past experience, past seasons, as well as upcoming races, as well as how's the season going. We hope you enjoy these episodes. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps us out. And stay tuned for more and more content. Now let's get into the interview. Well, he joins us now. He's out of Hanford, California, and he drives the Matt Streeter number 14 Midget, as well as the Friends and Family X1 Sprint Car for Alan Bradway and Steve Ticelli. Michael Faccinto. Michael, great to have you here. It's going to be a wonderful conversation.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. And, I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for the 2023 season to get going already.
No doubt. It kind of has a little bit for you. Went to Chili Bowl Nationals, finished 12th in your prelim, and, you've got a little bit of racing under your belt.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Chili Bowl could have definitely gone a little bit better for us. We had that race is so tough. So we some track conditions kind of set us back on our prelim night, but overall a pretty good finish for a West Coast car.
Yeah, no doubt. And last year, 2022, you won the USAC Western States Championship. You had an incredible numbers there. We'll get to those later. But for the 360 division, you had a sensational season. 18 starts, 10 top 10s, 4 top 5s produced, 2 podiums, and a win. All of those stats, the podiums and the win, coming at Placerville in local competition.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was the season started off, and kind of went in a different direction than I thought it was going to go. But, the sprint car, the X1 team, Steve and Alan took me in, and we kind of gelled immediately together. I don't know what took me on to Placerville. I really liked that racetrack. We even picked up a midget win there this year, or last year. So it was good. I like the bull rings. I kind of grew up on those with the micro sprints. So I'm looking forward to this year and having that same type of schedule going for the points championship there this year.
Yeah, and I noticed you had a handful of starts in 410 competition, 4 starts. You ended up with the top 10, just one at Thunderbolt Raceway in Tulare, so that's nothing to be discouraged about.
No, not at all. And Mike Fultz and the 56 team, we started the year together. It obviously just didn't pan out, but I can't thank them enough for allowing me to drive their car. And the 410 scene, really, to be honest with you, really wasn't for me. I kind of I liked the 360 class, and honest, myself getting a little bit older and everything, I wasn't ready to take on that big challenge of running the whole NARC schedule.
Yeah, and your midget numbers, we said we'd get back to them. 15 starts, 12 top 10s. This is Western States and national races combined. 11 top 5s, 10 podiums, 3 wins. You mentioned Placerville, also Santa Maria Raceway and Ventura Raceway. All distinct individual racetracks.
Yeah, no, definitely. That Matt Streeter built a really good midget, a Spike with an SR11. And I've been with the midget deal. That's kind of been my bread and butter for the last 6-7 years. Ran a lot of the races, and I've had the luxury of having the same crew chief, Vince Latner. He was obviously a crew chief for Damian Gardner too on the sprint car side of things. So we have a really good notebook. And it's been nice to get in a really good midget, and it was cool going and winning the championship last year and still being able to get to do that in 2023 when the schedule allows it. They just have a special place in my heart. I love those things. They're twitchy, they're fun, they're fast. So, it'd be good to get to be able to do that a little bit this year as well.
Yeah, talking to you off air, going to be running it. It sounds a little bit more less than last year. Your main focus is going to be the sprint car program.
Yeah, I'm. You know, Alan and Tooch, they've won. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you how many Class World Championships they've won together. You know, with Andy and other drivers as well. So I wanted, I'd like to add my name to that list for them. And then we're also going to chase the SECT championship. So, there's, 40, 45 races right there. And there is some breaks in the schedule. And actually there's some races where we run together, the sprint car and midget. So I'll be able to do that. And then, there at the end of the year when the national guys come out with the midget, we'll pick up there and run that as well. So I'll be staying busy. And also in that time, I have a micro that I kind of run because since I work here at Driven Performance, I got to keep, running those as well.
Sure. And this is a statistic that I combed over at Placerville in local. I believe this was local races. 8-point starts for main events, 7 top 10s. You only finished worse than 11th or 11th or worse only once, and 9th in Sprint Car Challenge Tour points. Considering that's a wide range of different racetracks, wide range of competitors, big car counts for folks that are listening that are not have any knowledge about this SCCT 360 tour. It is something to be a part of, and it is tough to win in.
No, absolutely. I mean, the first couple of years, Kyle Hurst, winning it, and Shane, like a guy like Shane Goldbeck, I think he's the winningest driver of all time in the series. He's obviously really good here in California, and like you said, the wide range of racetracks is really what is tough about that SECT schedule. You go from a Placerville, small little bull ring, and then you go to Hanford or Stockton, and then you go to Tulare, then you go to Petaluma where it's just sticky and, elbows up the whole time, and same with like a Marysville. So I'm really excited. We actually got a lot of good notes last year with Alan and Tooch with the F&F car. So I'm really excited to get this year started. Our first race of the season is going to be there at the Silver Cup, actually, in Chico. So we'll see what we can do there.
Awesome. March 3rd, it's creeping on up.
Yeah, it's going to be here before we know it. And luxury of, working here at D1, I'm going to go run a micro here in a couple weeks as well. So my racing fix is going to be, hopefully, will be every weekend from March 3rd till about Thanksgiving. So yeah. I'm excited to get the season going.
Well, and something also that I think needs to be mentioned when we talk about Placerville, like a local show, this isn't a racetrack that produces 11 to 17 cars every single weekend. When the stars align right, you'll see 30 plus. You're guaranteed a full field. There's always a B main, and it's a tough place to win at.
Absolutely. Scott Russell does a phenomenal job with the racetrack as well. It's different every time we go there. You hardly really see the same racetrack. There'll be times where the top's pretty dominant or the bottom comes into play. You'll see guys run in the middle. It's just such a unique racetrack. And yeah, you got the Placerville locals, but you'll get guys like the Sanders, the Goldbicks, Colby Copeland. They'll come and run 7 or 8 shows and make it even tougher. So,
sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a dogfight. I'm sure Andy's probably running the whole schedule, and he's tough up there at Placerville. So I'm excited for the challenge.
Yeah, I think in a previous interview, you'll have to listen back to it. He's committing to Silver Dollar primarily, and then he'll hit Placerville when he can. So, but that doesn't make the task any easier.
No, not at all. There's obviously the locals there are really tough. So, yeah, like I said, those stats all sound really good. Hopefully we can have that same type of success.
Exactly.
At the start of this year.
Well, and talking about success, the team that you're in, the X1, Alan Bradway, Steve Tuccelli, you briefly mentioned it, Andy Forsberg and various other drivers. And what's unique about you is, you're in the heart of the Central Valley in Hanford, home of King Speedway, and Thunderbolt Raceway isn't too far away either. And you're heart of, micro country with Lemoore and Plaza Park nearby as well. But, traditionally the X1 would be fielded somebody from the Sacramento area, Andy Forsberg, Mason Moore, Colby Weiss, David Robinson Jr., to name some names that have been in that race car and have had success in that race car.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, when I got the call there to drive the car, I instantly jumped on it because of what you mentioned, the history and how fast that race car's been. And then, getting to know those guys and getting to go into racing with them, it's the F&F, friends and family, that's a big part of it. And, they want to go to the races, they want to be competitive, but they want to have fun as well. And I enjoy going to the racetrack with those guys. So, and another interesting thing, the Bushy Financial that's on the side of the car, he actually used to work on my dad's sprint car.
Okay.
So it kind of worked that way. I knew him, and, I got to talking with Steve and Alan, and it kind of generated, okay, well, they knew I had my midget deal, so let's just run when we can. And, we talked about, I wanted to go full board into the wing sprint car deal and give myself a good shot. And I knew that these guys were the ones to go with.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely a full circle moment there.
Yeah, absolutely. My dad's obviously got a lot of history down here in the Central Valley. So,
sure.
Like to hopefully get our name, in the history books up there, up north.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about this with, I think, Michael Pombo the other night. We were talking about nothing to take away from previous drivers in the Central Valley, pre-Kings of Thunder or anything like that. But I always, arrogant me, not really knowing much, I always thought, Central Valley was non-wing country. They had the Sprint Bandits heavily there, USAC West Coast, still around that area. The SCRA 360 series ran a lot there between, Santa Maria and Hanford and Tulare. And those tracks I always thought non-wing. And every now and then they'd have, NART come in, Golden State,
right.
Rebel Cup races, maybe a Civil War race every now and then. But like in these last 10 years or so, there's just been, between you and your brother, Mitchell, the Sulzy brothers, Dominic and Gio, the Tarleton brothers, Carson and Cole. It seems like a huge family effort that's really brought a new cast of characters, and some of which have went on to go on, are going on to do some great and amazing things. And there's still more people coming up from the Central Valley, which is good. It's got growth and it's got good health. No,
absolutely. I mean, yeah, you named a few there, and a lot of those guys you named were, coming from the micro tracks, the Plaza Parks, the Lemoore Raceways, and, ran micros with them. A guy like Corey Eliason started the same year I did, I think, at Plaza Park. Obviously we know the success he's had racing and stuff as well, and Gio and Dom. And it's really neat to kind of go back and look at those old Plaza Park results and see all the names and see the success that all of us have had. And it's now the new wave, right? The new younger generation coming through. The guy that first comes to my mind is a Corey Day.
Sure.
Corey, I saw Corey cut his teeth in the restricted class out here, and then him win, races in the open class, and now to win in 410 shows on the regular.
Sure.
So
yeah,
it's definitely cool. Like you said, it's healthy down here, and I think you'll see it continue to grow.
Yeah, and of course, DJ Neto is another name that is did well, and it's just really cool. And I always say this, not to say that previously before you guys there was nobody. I mean, Jason Myers, Steve Kent, Ronnie Day, of course, Corey's dad. Tim Green. Some great drivers from way back in the day that they went on to. I mean, Jason Myers, a World of Outlaw sprint car champion, really, really cool.
Yeah, and his boy's in a junior sprint now. So, he's kind of doing the same thing as, his dad did for him, and running at Vicelli and Lemoore. So that's kind of cool for Jason, and he's putting a lot of effort into the micro deal to get it back growing to where it was about 10 years ago. So no, it's really cool. And another name like the Quaylos, Travis races every once in a while, but Steve and Brian, they race with my dad a lot. The worst the Farias. Those are the names I remember growing up as.
Mm-hmm.
So, now racing with their boys, it's really cool.
Yeah, yeah, and Michael Pomba is in that category as
Yep.
well. It's just amazing, of the wealth of talent and history and lineages that you can have. It's kind of like you see those coaching trees, or like a
Yeah.
genealogical thing. So it's super super neat, and it really shows that there's great growth, and there's great health too. Both Kings and Thunderbolt, they're doing well.
Yep.
Peter Murphy at Hanford is doing phenomenal. And of course, Trophy Cup is still a marquee event, a big event. Doug Lockwood, and we can't leave out Merced either. Merced Speedway with
No.
Doug Lockwood. It's sort of when it comes to Central Valley tracks, I would have to say it's the exception versus the rule. Most of them are third miles, and this place is a High Banks quarter mile. And man, I could only imagine midgets of that place is probably just sensational.
Yeah, it is. I mean, when you just hold your breath there for qualifying, it's wide open around the bank, and like you said, Doug has done a phenomenal job with Merced. It's good to have a track. It's kind of in the middle, right, for the guys that from up north, and then it's a little closer to us down here, but they always have big car counts there for the Wing 360s. So hopefully, it's unfortunate that race got canceled there in February, but I hope to get more wing races there with Doug and continue to grow it. Last time I spoke to Michael Pombo, he told me he was running the Placerville points as well. So He'll be tough. He had some really good stats there. He ran really good there a couple times. So, like I said, that whole deal is going to be really tough this year.
Yeah, and he was telling me he's going to be in the Stan Greenberg 37. So that's definitely going to be cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a historic Fresno-based, car. So, just the things are, and then we're just talking about the Central Valley. That's not to say that, the SAC area or NorCal is hurting or going, going through a recession of talent or anything. It's just as tough, if not tougher, than it has been in some time. So it's super good.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's healthy. I mean, I project at Chico, we're going to have 60 plus cars, to start the year. You got guys coming from Oregon, and that's kind of a perfect. Everyone's excited to go racing, right?
Sure.
Shoot, we might have 70 cars. I don't know. I think last year we had 66 one night or something like that. So that's going to be a big show. And obviously Colby and Brad, they've done a phenomenal job with getting that place get back going, and it's been really good racetracks every time we go there.
Yeah, yeah. As far as outside of the plans that you mentioned, are you going to try and hit? I assume Trophy Cup's going to be on the list. Any fall specials possibly on the docket for you guys once the weather starts getting cooler, or maybe a run up to Oregon for a speed week? Or are you guys pretty locked in on what you guys want to do?
I think we're pretty locked in on what we're going to do. We'll do those two schedules, and then if there is a weekend that we can, do something else, they never really say no.
Sure.
So
sure.
They're racers and they want to go racing. So hopefully, I would love to go. My brother has got to have the chance to go run all, the Oregon Speed Week and stuff. And I haven't. I would love to get to, Cottage Grove and some of those races as well. So hopefully, maybe, I don't know, I have to talk to the guys and see what exactly the plans. We've had a little bit of conversation here and there, but I know that's our main focus right now is, chasing some championships and, hopefully get myself, my goal has always been to be successful at everything I've ever drove, and the non-wing stuff and the midget stuff has been really well for me, but I want to kind of make a name for myself there in the wing car.
Yeah, no doubt. And I guess I'll just pose this question to you. If the opportunity comes, would you be interested in going back to maybe giving 410s a shot? I know you said it kind of wasn't your forte, but if you had another opportunity, would that be something you might take up?
Yeah, if the situation was right, I definitely think I would entertain the idea to go back and do it. I like Hanford and Placerville and stuff like that, and maybe to run those tracks. I would definitely be up for doing it.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Yeah, never say never, right? You never know who's listening. You never know who's watching. So
absolutely, never say never. I'm as you get older and you run as much as we do and as much as I have over the last couple of years. I'm just happy to be in a predicament where I know where I'm going to be every weekend. There's not many shots like this anymore. So the X1 has been great to me last year, and I want to bring, that goal is to bring him home that championship for him.
Yeah. Yes, no doubt. And then you said you're going to be running a little bit of the micros. I know that's been predominantly your background and very successful, by the way.
Yeah, like I said, working here, I've driven a D1 chassis. I got a guy out of Tulare that just lets me run the car when I want. And there's a lot of, Friday night shows there at Plaza. It keeps you sharp, and I enjoy going back and doing it. And there's some big money shows. I think we go the weekend after Chico, we go to Tulsa to Port City Raceway, and it's a 10,000 to win micro show. We're going to go do that.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm excited. I get to go and race with my buddies, all the guys around here at the shop, and it's fun to get away and go do something like that every once in a while.
Sure, no doubt. And then as far as like when your schedule is all set up and ready to go, if it's not published already, or team news, or if you have an apparel run, is there a good place for fans to locate that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a Michael Faccinto Racing on Facebook. On Twitter, I'll be posting more and more about my racing stuff here in the next couple weeks. And that handle's just, at Michael Faccinto. So yeah, definitely check that out. And, I hope to see all your fans there. I got apparel from last year. Come say hi at the trailer. We're definitely not shy. Come and talk to me, and we'll get you set up.
Awesome. And then any individuals you want to thank, any sponsors you want to thank before I let you go?
Yeah, I mean, I just obviously want to thank my car owners, Alan and Tooch and Dan Bushy, Bushy Financial. They're back on board this year. CNH Auto Parts. I got a new sponsor this year with Sacramento Battery, going to help me out personally. And then over on the midget side, Matt Streeter Racing and Vinny and Grantstein Enterprises, Sherbill, FK Shocks, all those guys. Appreciate all you guys. Without sponsors, you definitely can't. You wouldn't be able to run up and down the 99 every weekend like I get to do.
No doubt. Oh, and I did forget one question. A typical off season for you, do you try and get some relaxing downtime, or what do you do when you're not racing? Thinking about racing, dreaming about racing?
Yeah. Well, there's not much in an off season for me. Luckily I got married last off season. So we're planning hopefully here soon to go on a honeymoon. But other than that, okay. I have my 9-year-old son that, he keeps me busy with basketball, or if it's baseball or flag football or whatever it is. It's a typical weekend for me is staying busy.
Sure.
I'm not the one that kind of like just relax, stay home on a Friday, Saturday night.
Yeah.
So I'm itching, ready to get back going though, and get this season underway.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to it, and we'll definitely be checking in throughout the course of the year with you too. Just some quick progress reports, and you can tell us how things are going, and hopefully they'll be going well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I thank you again for having me on, and hopefully I have some good progress for you.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to this latest episode of Getting Up to Speed with me, Ben Dethridge. We hope you enjoyed this program. We hope also that you hit the subscribe button and the like button, as that really helps things out, spreads things out. Be sure and share as well on social media so that more people can listen to these great interviews and from these great drivers. Getting Up to Speed is a production of Highside Racing Promotions. For more information, you can check it all out on Facebook at Highside Promotions.